All right, welcome back to the Jelly Cards podcast, where John and I are spreading the love of the hobby. This is episode 71. You can listen to all our episodes on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts, including YouTube now. And if you are enjoying these topics, please give us a rating and a follow on both Spotify and Apple. Morning, John. Before you even say anything, can we just start off with NIU, baby? NIU taking down number 5 ranked Notre Dame, and now they are the number 25 ranked team in the nation, man.
I'm
NIU
very
Huskies,
happy.
baby.
I'm happy for you and your NIU Huskies, but I don't know how long they're going to be. 25.
Well, they play Buffalo next, so I think they can manage Buffalo, and then I think after that they have to go into Raleigh, North Carolina. They're playing NC State. Yeah, so that will be another big, tough matchup for them. But if they can go into Raleigh and beat NC State on the road like they did Notre Dame, man, dude,
Yeah,
it's awesome. Like that was not only them winning that game, but I thought what was one of the coolest things was the three of us watching the game, obviously in our own, like you were at work. You were at work. No, he wasn't at work.
No idea what you're talking.
But I was watching the game. Eric was at home watching the game. You were trying to, get as much of the game watched as possible. I just thought it was like we were all going nuts in the chat, and that was great. Like what a game, man.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. Honestly, I just wanted to shout it out real quick because, I'm a big Huskies fan, man. I like NIU. I would have went there if NIU had a men's track team. I would have went to NIU. But they don't have a men's track team, and I wanted to run track still in college, so I couldn't go there.
Yeah.
Which is sad because they have women's track. They don't have men's track.
Dang.
But they have men's swimming, but they don't have women's swimming. That's why it's a collegiate rule. You have to have the same amount of women's sports to men's sports. So they had men's swimming, so the women needed one. So instead of giving them women's swimming, they gave them women's track.
Is that still the case? They don't have either?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't gone back and looked. But as far as my knowledge goes, I don't think that NIU still has a men's track team.
Okay.
But I would have went there. I would have been a Husky. But it's one thing that I enjoy. My dad and I have gone to games. When my grandpa was still around, we would go to games. So it was always a fun time. I like, going tailgating, sitting in the parking lot. It's like once you get into DeKalb, it is like what you would think a college town is.
Exactly.
Especially once you start getting close to campus, like everything's NIU. And it's awesome. It's what I would picture, like probably driving through like Tuscaloosa or any of these other, major, college towns. Is what I would picture a college town to look like. So it gives you that, that collegiate atmosphere, that, that excitement. I'm going to a college football game. Yeah. And not to mention they're good teams.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I was happy for you because I know you're a big NIU fan.
They haven't been ranked since 2013, man. Back in the Jordan Lynch days.
Well, man, I hope that it lasts long. I hope it really does.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. They said it was the first time in school history that they beat an opponent that was ranked in the top 10. And then it was also the first time in the MAC conference that any team has beat a top 5 ranked opponent.
And what I thought was really awesome is that Notre Dame paid NIU for that game. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They paid NIU to play them. I don't know how those rules work, but basically, how some bigger schools pay lower end schools so that their team can play them and kind of just get going for the season. I think they paid them north of $1 million to go in there and lose, come visit Notre Dame and lose.
Yeah. What was most impressive to me was NIU's defense. That was most impressive to me. Notre Dame came off of a huge win over Texas A&M, the first game of the season, and then to be at home, and to lose to NIU, and their defense they stopped them. The biggest thing was third downs. They kept forcing them into third downs damn near almost every drive. and it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to start off there. Shout out to the NIU Huskies, number 25 ranked in the nation right now. So it's good. I was very happy. I'm actually shocked that they got ranked already.
Me too.
Like I was very shocked. I thought they would get close. I didn't realize that they would actually get ranked now, but shout out to the team, shout out to the coach. The passion that he showed after that game was awesome, man. Like,
was really awesome.
He lives and breathes for NIU football, and it's great. And he went there. He played for them. It was unfortunate he stopped. He had to stop playing because he found out he had a heart condition. I believe from what I was reading, and that's why he had to stop. But he was like he was a running back for them. Now Ontario Brown, baby. Yeah, he needs a Bowman card, and I need to start collecting his damn autos. So.
You should start collecting a bunch of NIU cards.
Well, he's got his Leaf ones, but I'm not a big Leaf fan. Well, there's like 1,000 101s out there of his. I don't know which one is which one is the actual 101. Like, how can you have like numerous 101s in the Leaf set?
Listen, so this is finally we're talking a little bit of cards here. I told you before that like buying up 1-of-1 Leaf autos, or just basically any Leaf autos of players who are not in the NFL yet or in the MLB or the NBA could be a sneaky market, because once the draft comes and he gets picked, if you want to sell some of them, I promise you that, or I shouldn't say I promise you, but I'm almost certain they're going to go up. So,
but that's my mindset.
Small hobby plug.
That's my mindset with Bowman U, though. Like, that's why I'm hoping like he can get a Bowman U auto, or just a Bowman U Chrome card, and then buy up those, and then be able to have those to sell come draft. I did it with Caleb Williams cards. I have a couple other ones. Hopefully Kate Klubnik, he can have a good season. They had a really good game. The last one, I think he had like 4 or 5 touchdown passes that game. But then they played Georgia. I think to open the season, they got slaughtered. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, shout out to NIU. I just wanted to plug that in real quick. But first order of business. We have fans, man.
We have one fan.
We have one fan of the Jelly Cards podcast. And as one thing that you always press all the time, that, you want listeners to reach out to us, of course, and just, if you want to ask us questions about anything hobby related, if you want to give us a topic to talk about on the podcast, or if you just want to talk cards and tell stories, we're all for it. John always ends our podcast with that. But somebody actually reached out to us.
So happy.
Yeah. This question came from the Cards Professor. So on Instagram, if you want to check out the Cards Professor, that's the tagline for him. But he asked us, basically, he was talking about dual autos, and he asked us if you're buying into dual auto cards, if both players need to do well in order for that card to either retain value or to increase in value. And actually it was a good question, because I kind of never even really thought about dual autos like that, or ever even looked into dual autos, because in my opinion, and I'll get into because you're the one that responded to him initially. To me, when I look at dual autos, I kind of have this feeling like it's always one player is really good on the card, and then the other player never panned out.
Right.
So it's very rare to get like 2 players of a high caliber, especially like a rookie card, to to be on the same card, like from their rookie seasons or something. I know they put out a lot of dual autos now, or they do like triple autos, but that's, to me, it's like you're picking the top players, like the Team USA one.
Yeah.
The triple auto Team USA one that everyone's like searching for. I actually think it might have been pulled.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay.
The gold, one
gold. Yeah. Okay, that one's been pulled. But it's like that, to me, is kind of like a cop out. Like you're purposely doing it because it's gonna increase the value of the card to put these top players on it. It would be like putting Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson on the same card and saying, here you go. But it's even better when you can have like somebody from a rookie season, 2 rookies on the same card, and then both of them, like the Ichiro and Albert Pujols card. even though it's not an auto, could you imagine if that was autographed? That's a six-figure card in a 10.
Yeah,
possibly.
Sure.
Possibly closing in on $1 million. Because they're both Hall of Famers, and it's so rare to get that. So, what was your initial response to him when he did ask us this question?
So everything that you said is basically how I felt too. I think that my initial response was thank you. I said thank you for sure because I was like, oh, thank you so much. We've been waiting for somebody to finally reach out and say anything about the podcast. So I said that. And then I told him what you just said, essentially. I was like, nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but the amount of dual autos that I ever see on eBay that sell for a lot of money, or even me searching for dual autos, I feel like is pretty low. And I said that I feel like in the hobby, usually people prefer to buy just the solo auto because of what you were talking about. Because usually, if it's a rookie year, you're kind of stuck, and this is going to pain me when I get to my example. You're kind of stuck with like maybe one great, awesome player and then another below average to average player, or one amazing player and then two other average players to below average players. So dual autos are kind of a touchy subject because my answer to him was that, yes, I do think that in order for dual autos to retain value or increase in value, the players on the cards need to both be great. And your example of the Ichiro Pujols is a great example. If I don't even know if the Superfractor exists, but if it does exist, and if it was a Superfractor auto of Ichiro and Pujols, absolutely 5-6 figure card, pushing 7 figures. Mm-hmm. But my example that I'm going to use right now is 2017 NFL football. For me, if I was going to buy a dual rookie auto of Patrick Mahomes and Mitchell Trubisky,
is there one out there?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll look one up right now. But if I wanted to find one, I probably could. And unfortunately, Mitchell Trubisky being on that dual auto with Patrick Mahomes kind of decreases the value.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people who are interested in both Trubisky and Mahomes, way less than the amount of people strictly interested in Mahomes.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of a way to approach the card. If you get a card with Lamar and some other 2018 rookie who I can't think of off the top of my head, the amount of people interested in just Lamar greater than the amount of people interested in Lamar and the other player.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, like you were talking about, new cards that are put out, it's usually going to be, if it's not a rookie card, it's usually going to be like current MLB, current NFL, current NBA, all-star, superstar, dual auto with past or current MLB, NBA, NFL, all-star, superstar. So I think it's a great topic because, again, he made a great point. Cards Professor made an awesome point. This upcoming NBA season, when LeBron and Bronny have dual auto cards, I'm almost certain that all of those cards are going to go nuts.
Well, don't they already have a dual auto in the Bowman set?
Yes.
But now once they come in, now here's the thing though. Bronny probably does not have a contract now with Panini if he's got a dual auto in the Bowman U set. That means he's got his contract with Topps and Fanatics. So it would probably take, if it's obviously this current Topps Chrome set doesn't have it, so it probably would take another year at least for once they finally get the license. But I'll bet you Topps is sitting back. Topps and Fanatics are sitting back going, once we get this license, we need Bronny and LeBron on the same card, dual auto. And yeah, it is for sure going to be a 101 Superfractor as well. So like they're going to make that a numbered card and it is going to be hella expensive.
Yes, and they don't even need the contract for, or they don't need the license.
And I don't even think Bronny's that good.
Exactly. They don't need the license to print them on the card together. Yeah. So it's going to be just like current Topps Chrome basketball. It's going to be them in like a yellow jersey, and it's going to say LeBron James and Bronny, and it's going to come out in 2025 Topps Chrome. It's not going to be licensed. It's going to be dual autoed, and there's going to be an insane bounty on it. Mm-hmm. But then it's such a great topic because you kind of dig deep into it and kind of go further. In 10 years from now, if Bronny's just, no offense, not a NBA All-Star superstar, and he's on that card with LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, does the card retain value or does it lose value?
I think it still retains value because it's father-son.
Okay.
Now, if you, that's the only reason why I would say it would retain value, because it is father and son. That's just, it's a very unique, and they both play for the same team. It's not like Bronny plays for somebody else. Yeah. They're both, their father-son on the same team in a Lakers jersey. It adds, it's just adding more value to the card, regardless of Bronny's, future career, in my opinion.
I'm actually leaning the other way. I feel like if Bronny just becomes like a bench player / hops around from team to team after LeBron retires and he doesn't have a great NBA career, I don't know that. I wouldn't be searching for it.
It'll probably drop in value, but I still think it would be a sought after card. Like, somebody will want the card. Some LeBron,
LeBron himself is what I messaged.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna want it, or Bronny's gonna want the card. Somebody's gonna want the card, and they're gonna be willing to pay a lot of money because it is father-son. The example I used when I was looking it up was, I was obviously going off of last week's episode. We talked about, really quick about Mike Evans, and when you look at Mike Evans' career, it's insane. Yep. Insane. He's never had a season where he has had under 1,000 yards receiving. And there was a season he only played 13 games.
Yep.
So to
Hall
me,
of Famer, man.
Yeah. So to me, it's, his career is unreal. And so I've been looking at a lot of, Mike Evans cards, because if I could sell one, great, but I would actually like to have one just for PC purposes. However, I was coming across some dual autos of his, and this was before, like I said, this was before the cards professor even reached out to us. So it's, kind of crazy that he reached out to us asking about dual autos, and I just literally looked at one. One of the ones I found, it was their 2014 Topps Chrome. It was Mike Evans and Sammy Watkins. So that's their rookie year, both of them in their rookie seasons. So it was a dual auto, numbered out of 30. It's a BGS 9.5 auto 10. So it's gem mint. Mm-hmm. It still had, last time I checked, it was this morning. It has 2 days and 14 hours left. It's sitting at $36 with 33 watchers on it.
$36. Damn.
But here's the thing, though, and this is the whole point of what we're getting at with the. A lot of times you have these dual autos that have one Hall of Fame caliber player, and then next thing you know, the other player never really amounted to anything. And Sammy Watkins is a great example of that. He's a Super Bowl champ. That's all he has. He had his rookie year, he had over 900 receiving yards. His second year in the league, he had over 1,000 yards receiving. That's it. For the rest of his career, he was non-existent with injuries, or when he was like playing majority of the games, he wasn't getting any reception yards. So yes, this card is numbered out of 30. It's gem mint, BGS 9.5, auto 10, which means both autos were graded a 10. Yep. But Sammy is going to heavily bring down the value of this card. And that's what I was getting at with, well, there was somebody else. There was another top wide receiver in the league that got drafted in 2014. And that's Odell Beckham Jr. Now, if it was Mike Evans and Odell Beckham Jr., now this could be a different story.
Yeah. Again,
both Super Bowl champs, both have Super Bowls. So Odell had a way better career than Sammy Watkins did. And I would assume there's still probably a lot of Odell Beckham Jr. fans out there who collect a lot of his cards versus Sammy Watkins.
Exactly.
So to me, it's always dependent upon the player that's on the card. It's going to be very rare for you to have a card like Albert Pujols and Ichiro, even though it's non-auto. That's not going to come around very often. So if you get lucky enough to where you can get these two rookies who end up panning out, That's a great card to have. Even Mike Evans has one with Jameis Winston. It's a 2015. So it's Jameis Winston's rookie year, Mike Evans' second year. But both play on the same team.
Yep.
Mike Evans' second year, Jameis Winston's rookie year. If Jameis Winston panned out and became a franchise quarterback for the Bucs, that card would be insanely valuable.
Exactly.
That one. So it was a 2015 Topps Supreme dual auto. So Mike Evans and Jameis Winston, numbered out of 35. It was raw. This was sold raw, back in July for $61. Numbered out of 35 dual auto. It sold for $61. And I'm telling you right now, that is $61 for Mike Evans.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe $60 for Mike Evans, $1 for Jameis.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's so if Jameis panned out.
Yeah, who knows? And they won a Super Bowl together or something.
Yeah, exactly. Super Bowl. Like, man, could you imagine if that was Jameis instead of Tom Brady who won that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it would be huge. It would be huge. So,
really great point. Yeah. And Cards Professor said the similar thing. He's like, oh crap, because he had bought some dual autos and he was like, oh, maybe doubled my risk essentially. Or I don't remember the words that he used, but he was like, I have two markets that both need to do well instead of just focusing on one market.
Exactly.
Which I think is a great way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that, when we were talking about the dual card with Pujols and Ichiro, that's the one thing that Eric brought up about. Well, when it comes down to it, he said, why wouldn't people, was it you or was it Eric that brought it up?
I'm the only one who really wanted to buy the card.
Oh, yeah, that's my point. That's the point I'm making, is because Eric was like, well, wouldn't somebody just want one or the other?
Yes, you're right.
Now you have to find a collector who wants both players on the card.
Yes.
Versus hey, I just want an Ichiro card. Well,
right.
I don't care about Pujols, so why am I going to spend X amount of money on this dual card when I can just spend that same amount of money and get an Ichiro card? Because that's the player I care about. Same thing with Mike Evans. I want a Mike Evans autograph, but I'm not willing to have Sammy Watkins on it.
Exactly.
So,
sorry to Eric there, but my counterpoint to that was that, we're getting way too deep into this. So, the amount of people who want one individual player usually is going to outweigh the amount of people that want both the players on the card. The reason that I love that Ichiro Pujols rookie card is because obviously there's going to be more people who want only Pujols. There's going to be more people who want only Ichiro. But both of them being Hall of Famers and both being rookie cards on the exact same card, like you touched on earlier, extremely rare. And arguably, I might get a lot of heat for saying this, but best right-handed, left-handed hitters of their eras. I'm not including Bonds, so I don't want to get roasted. Barry Bonds is maybe the best left-handed batter in history. But both of them being first ballot Hall of Famers, iconic baseball players, and you have that super saturated Hall of Fame collectors market. Everyone wants to collect Hall of Fame baseball cards, who's in baseball card collecting usually. I think it's an awesome card to have, and I'm just tying in everything that we said, that it's tough to find cards like that. It's tough to find, especially rookie cards, dual rookie cards where both players pan out and they're incredible players.
Yeah.
And same goes for vintage, for all my fellow vintage lovers. There's tons of vintage cards out there where it's dual rookie cards or four rookie cards on one card, and you have one Hall of Famer and everyone else is just, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, and I hated that they did that, because there's some players out there, there's some players that don't have, their only rookie card is with somebody else.
Exactly.
And that's the only card you can get of their rookie card. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I just, it's like you said, it's a very hard thing to do to, have two rookies that both dual auto on the same card. They both pan out. I mean, the only saving grace for the Mike Evans and Sammy Watkins is they're both Super Bowl champs.
That's true.
They're both Super Bowl champs. So, I mean, you have that going.
Still in the league?
I don't think so. I think his last year was 2022.
Yeah, I think he's not.
So I don't think he's not. Yeah, switch. Yep. So I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah. Next week's episode.
You want to talk about a super random dual card that I found the other day? It wasn't a dual auto. But when I was looking at Anthony Rizzo cards,
Nice.
there was a from 2017. I believe it was a Topps. Maybe it was a Bowman. I can't remember. It was a dual card of Anthony Rizzo and Brendan McKay.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. And it was graded PSA 10. And
Oh,
I
man.
started watching it because I'm like, this is such an odd card, an
It's a
odd
Jason card right
combination
there.
of like players to put on a card that I'm like, I would buy this strictly just because of how odd it is.
Yes.
And it was only, they had it at a buy now of like $24, but with no offer option.
$4.
Yeah, but I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna like I would pay maybe like I'll give you like $10 for it, but
Right.
I don't know about you. But I was just like, what? I'm like, Brendan McKay and Anthony Rizzo, like, how did you come up with this one? I don't know if I think it might have been maybe like their size or something, like they were comparing their size, because obviously neither McKay was a first round draft pick, Anthony Rizzo wasn't a first round draft pick. You know, McKay was a pitcher / DH. Rizzo's a first baseman. Like I didn't see the correlation here between the players, you know, but they did it, and it's out there in a 10 if you want to buy it.
I was looking up dual autos too, and kind of like, I guess playing. I don't want to. No, it's just kind of interesting. There was a dual 2024 Bowman, Paul Skeens, and Dylan Cruz Superfractor auto.
Yeah.
Raw. So these guys are not officially in the Hall of Fame or anything like that.
Yeah,
They're
but you got the two
rookies.
best. You got potentially the two best rookies coming out of that, you know, out of this latest set.
It was a Superfractor auto. It sold on September 3rd for $11,000.
Raw?
Yeah.
Seems low.
Paul Skeens, yeah. See, like,
yeah,
so
that seems low. Like,
considering that, like, Paul Skeens obviously best pitcher that came out of the draft. Dylan Cruz.
When did it sell?
September 3rd, like a little over a week ago.
Okay.
So I feel like that
there would
has
have been more
room to grow.
value if there would have been more value if both of them came up at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
there's cards out there
card, though. That is
That's what I'm
really,
getting at.
Yeah.
That's a sweet card. And there's other ones that I saw, like Caitlin Clark and somebody else. There's like
well, yeah, if they did like a Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be a huge card. Everybody would want that card. That would be a sick card to have. Or Caitlin Clark and the what's the woman from the Phoenix team, the Phoenix Mercury. That's their she was in the she was in the Space Jam movie.
Taurasi, I think, right?
I think you're right. Yes.
Like I got it. Diana Taurasi.
Yes, there you go. If it was her,
we did it.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. Yeah, after my clothes are going out of style.
But yeah, if it was Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark on the same card, that would be a sweet card to have.
Oh yeah.
That was the whole point I was trying to get to.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
It took us a while, but we got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but I think that's a good segue into the topic that I want to talk about, because obviously a lot of the dual autos we were talking about was football, and something we were supposed to do last episode that we didn't get to, unfortunately, because we just got caught up talking about basically Lamar and Josh Allen, and just debating them two overall. We wanted to talk more about, you know, some of our picks for this upcoming NFL season. I gave John some homework, so let's hope that he actually looked some players up. So basically what I pitched to John for this episode is I wanted to do an NFL Week 1 recap, not really necessarily going through the games or anything like that, but I wanted to do an NFL Week 1 recap, but in terms of cards related, and I wanted to do buy, sell, hold. One player for each. So after Week 1, if there was a player that you were looking to buy, a player that you're looking to sell, and a player that you think collectors or investors should hold. So I hope you have 3 players. And I also said to him, you can't just pick the obvious choices. You can't talk about, you can't pick Patrick Mahomes. You can't talk about Josh Allen again. You can't talk about Caleb Williams. Like, I want to hear some different players, I want collectors to be out there. Anybody who, hopefully we are talking about players that you do have, and it'd be great for you to hear some of their card markets so you kind of understand where the market's going right now. So, John, do you want me to go first? I feel like I should go first.
You probably should go first.
Okay. John didn't do his homework.
I never do my homework.
Yep. Yeah. John said he hasn't taken notes for the podcast since our MLB rule changes episode, and I was like, how long?
The only reason I did that was just so I can have facts to support my 3v1 attack.
Okay, so my first player that I was picking to buy. So we'll go with the buy category first.
Sweet.
The first player that I'm looking at to buy right now, especially after week 1, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, baby. Why? Okay. Tell me why Baker is not a player that you could buy right now, especially after week 1 and his week 1 performance. And remember, last year he went to the divisional round against the Lions and lost in a close game. Tell me why Baker's not a good player to invest in right now.
Okay. First of all, you're buying Baker when he had a great game, which is, in my opinion, not a good idea because his market's going to be a little bit hotter than it should be. If he had a horrible game, I'd be like, okay, I can understand. But if he had a good game, that's when I try to stay away from those markets. That's my first point. Second point, I don't know. It's like a bad comparison maybe, but he's almost like Dak to me. He's a good quarterback. I'm like,
what?
I think he's just, I don't see him going. If you buy Baker now, when are you going to sell it? When he makes the playoffs? Is that your plan? Or do you actually have hope that he'll go far in the playoffs or think that he'll go far?
Yeah, for him to have another season like he did last year where he had over 4,000 passing yards, he had the best season of his career. And for you to say that his market's up right now. Oh, that probably means his market's up. I'm telling you right now, if this is up for him, everybody buy into Baker Mayfield right now, because if he continues the success and what it looks like from game 1, I mean, he had 289 yards passing in week 1. He had 4 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. He only got sacked once that game. So I'm looking at it, he's coming off of, like I said, his best season in his entire career last year. We already talked about Mike Evans. He's got a, for sure, Hall of Fame wide receiver in Mike Evans to throw to, not to mention the rest of the offense is playoff caliber, Super Bowl caliber. We've seen it already.
I like Chris Godwin a lot. He's a great player.
So I personally think that Baker right now could be a sneaky buy, because I personally believe that a lot of people can't get over the Baker of old. I don't think people can get past the Baker Mayfield from the Cleveland Brown days. And then, obviously he only played 7 games in Carolina. He went to the Rams. He was basically backup on the Rams. Only played because, of due to injury. But now that he's come onto the Bucs, he's like a brand new player. Completely brand new player. It's like, Jose Bautista in baseball leaving the Pirates, going to the Blue Jays, and next thing you know, he's an all-star caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's all it takes, is just to get behind the right coaching to really be able to showcase the talent that Baker has. And I wrote down some of his cards, and this is what I'm telling you. If this is high for him, then we're buying. We are buying Baker. So his 2018 Panini Prism rookie orange die cut, numbered out of 249. This was graded PSA 10. Sold on September 10th for $102.50. Numbered out of 249, orange die cut rookie. Only basically $100 for the card in a PSA 9. Then he had a 2018 Panini National Treasures rookie triple patch auto, numbered out of 99, graded PSA 8. That card sold on September 9th for $260. Triple patch auto, NP, numbered out of 99, PSA 8, 260. And then he had a 2018 Panini Contenders cracked ice, not optic, not Panini Contenders optic. This is just Panini Contenders cracked ice rookie auto, numbered out of 24. It was a BGS 9 auto 10. That card sold back in August 26th for $781. That card for anybody else, like that card for Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, any one of them, that is easily that's over $2,000 in a BGS 9. And Baker you can get for under $1,000. And I think that card of that caliber, of that rarity, numbered out of 24, cracked ice, rookie auto, the auto got a 10. Yes, it's graded BGS 9, but I think if he has the same season or even better than he did last year, there's no reason why all three of those cards will not increase in value. So, what do you think? Do you I know you disagree with me.
Did you look at any like comparisons to that card like months ago, if that's possible?
No, I did not. I didn't go back.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to find.
You know what I really need to do, but what I probably just need to like spend the money on? I need market movers. That's what I need.
Or you could get like the card ladder too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like that instead of trying to do it on eBay or search on like PSA's website and going back and trying to like look at like pop reports, things like that, it would just be easy to have, to go look back what this card was selling for at this date, just so to have those comparisons, because it would help to see where these markets were, months ago, maybe, a year ago.
So I'm just going to use the example that I found here. Very small sample size. So July 16th, 2024, Baker Mayfield, select silver field level rookie in a PSA 10. Select has 3 levels. Field level is the best level. It's also a silver PSA 10. July 16th, sold for $56 in a PSA 10. Fast forward to September 10th, which is 2 days ago. Same card has sold for $88. And those are the only like most recent examples that I had. So he had a great game. I think he's going to have a good season. I only disagree with you that I would buy him right now. Like maybe I would wait to see if he has an off week or a bad week or 2 bad weeks in a row, and then I would buy it. But I'm not so much hating the player as much as I'm hating the timing of it.
You do hate the player. You hate on Baker all the time.
It's bad wording. It's like me saying you hate Ohtani, even though we've established you do hate Ohtani.
You say that probably at least once a day.
Yes, but similar situation. Again, like bad example, but you may not like Ohtani, but you do acknowledge that he's a great baseball player. I may not like Baker as like a potential Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Do you acknowledge him as a good quarterback?
He's better than half the league, at least.
Really?
I would say.
Because you're all about buying Daniel Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy might be pure garbage.
Yeah, beautiful. So that people understand. My opinion cannot be taken seriously.
You buy into Kyle Trask, and he's sitting behind Baker.
Baker better not get hurt.
Oh, God.
Better be careful out there, Baker.
Yeah, way to put that out there.
Like I said, if you buy Baker Mayfield right now, when are you selling him?
I would try to hope to sell him before the end of the season.
Okay. That
would be if I'm buying into that, say the orange die cut at $102. I'm hoping that continued success throughout the season, right before playoffs, I could sell that card and maybe double my money. And that card becomes $204. That's what I'm hoping. Like that. And I'm giving us a year. Like, let's try to buy Baker, see what happens. It looks like he's already starting off strong. They have a good team. They play in a very weak division. I don't buy that 47-point Saints score that they put up against the Panthers because they played the Panthers. Poor Bryce Young. But they play in a very weak division. I mean, Kirk Cousins just lost to Fields.
I know.
That's sad, man. You put up 10. I mean, that's against the defense, but come on, dude. Like, you
See,
just
like,
lost to Justin Fields.
exactly. So this is my point. Would you rather buy Baker or would you rather buy Cousins?
No, I'd rather buy Baker because
Okay.
I could see Baker going to be a playoff team and making it far in the playoffs. They had a great game against the Lions last year.
I did.
Baker was very, very impressive. I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to see. He was filling some very big shoes.
Yes.
Taking over after Tom Brady, and you brought your team back to the playoffs. Not only did you bring your team back to the playoffs, but you won a playoff game, and then you played a highly contested game against the Lions, man. So that's my pick. Go ahead with who are you buying right now? After week 1, who are you buying right now?
Okay. So I'm happy we're starting with buying because I don't know what else to. So anyway,
do your homework, man.
The player that I want to buy is kind of similar to what I'm trying to get at here, is that everybody who's had a good week, I try to stay away from those markets because not only do you have to deal with the hype of football starting, you also throw on the hype of the player having a great game, which is what your goal should be if you are selling NFL cards when the season starts, or especially like after the first week, because you want them to have an amazing first week game so that it helps their market. The player that I would choose to buy, it's kind of interesting that I'm not picking a quarterback, but I do think Cousins is a good example of somebody that I would buy. I'm going with Jamar Chase. So I picked Jamar Chase because I don't know what in the hell happened with Cincinnati. They were like heavy favorites first week of the season. They end up losing to New England.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, man.
Yeah, everybody just had a terrible game for Cincinnati. And so, in my opinion, I think the Bengals are a good team. They're led by one of my favorite NFL quarterbacks in the NFL, who I think is a great NFL quarterback. And I think that as the season goes on, Jamar Chase's numbers are going to be pretty great. He's going to end up top 10 wide receiver in terms of yards, maybe catches, assuming he stays healthy, touchdowns, all that. So Jamar Chase is my pick. And I didn't really write down too many like card markets, but one of the ones that I'm looking at right now that finished on yesterday, a 2021 Optic Jamar Chase Blue Scope rated rookie in a PSA 10 sold for $41.41. And I feel like that's a great potential market right there. $40 for one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, in my opinion, is something that I would buy. And I think that as the season goes on, that market is going to go up. I'm going to try to find some Silver Prism rookies. But yeah, I think players who didn't have a good first week, the team overall still being good, are the markets that I try to focus on when it comes to buying during the already added hype of the season. And that applies to the NFL, that applies to the NBA, NHL, MLB. First week of the season is always going to be hype driven. You're going to see small market bumps at least a little bit just because everybody's watching football, hopping on eBay saying like, oh my God, Saquon had an awesome game. I want to buy some Saquon rookies. So yeah,
Did you see Jamar Chase's his 2021 flawless? So his collegiate rookie patch auto gold number out of 10, BGS 8.5 auto 10 sold on August 29th for $309 still. That's his college one. That's his draft picks college one.
Dang. That feels cheap, doesn't it?
I actually was thinking feels expensive because once they get their like actual NFL uniforms, a lot of people don't really like to buy into their college stuff anymore. And for that to still go 309, I actually think it's pretty high.
Okay. What's the number out of?
10.
When did it sell?
August 29th.
Okay. Right before the season started. So that's, yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is high, but yeah, he's a great wide receiver. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and I think he's going to have a good year. one week does not determine the entire NFL season,
No.
although some people in the Jelly group chat like to think so. So
yeah. Season's apparently over for the Bears. So
I think that Jamar Chase, and last week before we did our episode, I wanted to talk about Saquon and I wanted to talk about Derrick Henry.
Sorry,
What's wrong?
I just looking up I looked up SGC for Jamar Chase.
What you got?
2021 Panini Spectra, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, dual rookie patch auto numbered out of 20, SGC 9.5. The auto's got a 10. Sold on August 30th for $290. That's it.
See, that seems
numbered
very cheap.
out of 20 for $290, and you have Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle on the same card, even though it's SGC 9.5. What's hurting this is the fact that it's SGC.
I'm so happy you said that,
Correct.
Jason, because that's exactly right.
That would be the one where it's like, hey, crack that, send that to PSA, because you're probably going to triple your amount.
Yeah, agree. Which is what I tried to explain to you.
So that's a good one. That's a card I would have bought at $290 for them two on the same, and it's Spectra. Yeah, I would have bought that. Exactly. Even in a 9.5 SGC, I would have bought that.
We've been doing Jelly for 4 years. I've been trying to explain it to you that, especially now with how things are changing in the hobby, the amount of people, it's very unfortunate, but the amount of people who are searching modern cards, who are typing into their eBay search SGC, is going down. And the amount of searches for PSA, in my opinion, is going to keep going up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, Jamar Chase was my pick. Basically, anybody who you think or I think is a good NFL football player who didn't have a good week is usually the markets that I try to look into.
Yeah.
Because the example that I'm going to use is Aaron Judge. When the freaking MLB season started, I was like, Judge had a horrible first 2 months of the year, and now he's putting up another record-setting, incredible baseball season.
Yeah, he's slumping. Him and Witt both slumping at the plate right now.
Yeah. What about the NL?
I mean, Ohtani's he's still just at 292. I mean, he's
just at 292.
Okay. Ketel Marte's back.
Oh, great.
Yeah, at least he's back in it, and he's already back to hitting homers, having 4-hit games, 4 RBI games. So, anyways, I think.
Go ahead, Jason.
So I think for the sell category, I think we might actually have the same player. If I could take a guess, I think we might have had the same player. Because if I'm selling anybody right now, I'm selling Justin Fields.
Nice, good pick.
Yeah. Listen, if there's any time that any Justin Fields collector is going to be able to salvage some money back from his markets, it's right now. He's starting. I believe he's starting again week 2. Obviously he was only starting because Russ is hurt, but I think he's still starting week 2, correct? I want to say he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
So, come on. Like, if there's any time to be selling Justin Fields to gain some of the money back from those markets because they have dropped so badly, it's right now. Like, sell Justin Fields, get what you can back, go buy something better. You know. He didn't have a terrible game. They won. They won the game. I think it was 18-10. They beat the Atlanta Falcons. He passed for he had 156 yards passing, no passing touchdowns. He rushed for 57 yards. So not a bad game, but I think a win would help, and I think now you can probably sell some of his cards. He had a 2021 Panini Select, the premier level red disco prism rookie, numbered out of 49. You're going to like this one. Numbered out of 49, PSA 10, sold yesterday for $102.50. Numbered out of 49.
Oh, boy.
$102, that's it, man. And then he had a 2021 Panini Prism, his silver prism rookie, PSA 10, also sold yesterday for $180.50. Silver prism, man. And then he had a 2021 Panini Flawless, the Sapphire Rookie Auto, numbered out of 10, PSA 10, Auto 10, sold on September 9th for $725.
That's sad.
And I'm sure that Flawless Sapphire Auto was probably bought already graded for at least probably a couple $1,000s. Would be my guess.
Yep. That's why I said it's
but
sad.
if that was true, and you were able to salvage $725 for the card, congrats, man. I take that as a win.
Me too.
So I think right now, Justin, he's starting. Like I said, he's starting. I think he's getting the nod for game 2. Try to get back what you can. We're doing it. So
yep, exactly.
We got a couple of his cards listed on our eBay page, so we're trying to do the same thing. I'm keeping my cards.
Be losses.
I'm keeping my cards because they're so bad. They're such a bad loss that I'm not willing to take that big of a hit. We'll see what happens. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, whatever, I guess.
Okay. Good luck, Chase.
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick. I agree with you. We're gonna take some heavy losses, unfortunately, on our Justin Fields cards. But if there is a time to sell him, I think now might be that time. I'm assuming he's going to play. If they lose their game, that automatically puts Russell Wilson into the week 3 starting position, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I mean, it's dependent on how he plays, but if they lose especially if they lose and he does bad.
They're playing the Broncos, man. So
that should be
they could have it. They could have another win under their belt. So
yeah, that affects things. I guess the longer he plays, the better it is for your cards, but I still don't like taking the risks, so I'd sell his cards too.
Yeah.
So my pick, which is kind of really interesting because last week when we were talking about players that I wanted to buy, this guy was a buy. But now, kind of maybe slightly proving my point a little bit, because of the week he had, his card market is up. So the person that I want to sell is Saquon Barkley. First of all,
interesting you say that.
First of all,
interesting you say that.
Shrek's piss. What you doing over there?
It's a water enhancer, man.
Oh yeah. Straight from the swamp. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to buy Saquon last week because I think personally Saquon Barkley is an incredible running back, and running backs get no love in the NFL cards market, and even in the current NFL establishment, because nobody really runs the football as much as they used to. So I wanted to buy Saquon last week. Fast forward this is the beauty of the hobby. Fast forward 2-3 days, Saquon has an incredible first game of the year, and his card market goes up. And the reason that I'm saying I would sell Saquon is because in terms of positions in the hobby that people focus on, it's QB, wide receiver, RB. Running backs are third fiddle. So the example that I have is his 2018 Optic red-yellow parallel in a PSA 10, which is like a hollow red-yellow look. Sold on September 11th, just yesterday, at auction for $125 in a PSA 10. Back in July 16th, just, I guess, less than 2 months, 2018 Donruss Optic red-yellow Saquon rookie in a PSA 10 sold for $66. So in a matter of 2 months, that card has almost doubled. It went from 66 to 125. You've made 85 to 90% profit on that card. Do I think that card could continue to go up? Sure. But just based on hype and risk and the fact that it's an RB running back card, I would probably sell a majority of my Saquon cards. I would keep a few because I think he's a Hall of Fame running back and I think he's going to have a great season and the Eagles are a great team. But in terms of using the market hype and using the market information that we have and just the hobby knowledge that we have and things that we've kind of picked up on, RBs get no love in the NFL, RBs get no love in the hobby. I would sell some Saquon cards because people are going to be rushing to eBay to pick up his rookie cards if he has another game like he did. So I love it because, like I said, just 2 weeks ago, I wanted to buy Saquon because I thought he's going to have a good year. Fast forward 2 weeks, he has a great first week of the season, and now I have to flip my hobby approach. So that's my pick in terms of who I would sell. So I want to know what your take on that is, because you said interesting, and then you took a sip of your special juice.
Yeah. It's funny that you picked Saquon to sell because, yes, last week you were saying, hey, we should buy. Now you're saying, hey, we should sell. I picked him as my hold. Yeah, I picked Saquon as my hold strictly because of his card market and where his cards are selling right now. Yes, they're on the rise. That's exactly the point of why I would actually hold the card, because I still think that his card market is low. Listen, everybody knows the Saquon of the past. Everybody knows the Saquon from 2018, his rookie year, 2019, when he was over 1,000-yard rusher both those years. He had 11 touchdowns in his rookie year, and with 1,300 rushing yards. He's now off of a terrible Giants team who has a terrible quarterback. He's on the Philadelphia Phillies now, man. He's on the Phillies. He gets
relax.
Damn. Yeah, my bad.
Let's go, New York.
Come on,
Yankees.
Go sports.
Yeah.
He's on the Eagles now. He gets to play behind Jalen Hurts. Their offense is great. They came off of a W. He had 109 rushing yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a receiving touchdown in that game. It was a great game. I personally think if we get the Saquon of old, we get the Saquon from 2018, 2019, 2022, when he had over 1,300 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns, I think he is going to have a major, major increase in his card market. And that's why I'm saying hold his cards right now, because Eagles are a playoff contending team. They're a Super Bowl contending team. Finally get to see Saquon in a Super Bowl. Whatever everybody would want to see is Saquon make it to a Super Bowl, to get back to the Saquon we all know. Yeah, that's why I'm holding it. And I think his market is telling me, hey, I think this is going to keep going up, because the more wins that they have and the more 100-plus yards rushing games he has, everybody is going to start wanting Saquon cards. Especially, in my opinion, I think once they get closer to the playoffs, if the Eagles are one of the top teams in the league, I think that is going to significantly help his market. Because when you look at it, and there's one card on here I wrote down that I think is going to blow your mind. He has got a 2018 Panini Select tie-dye prism rookie, numbered out of 25. This was graded PSA 9, sold yesterday for $161.88. Numbered out of 25. Damn. Even though it's a PSA 9, still under $200. Then he's got his 2018 Panini Prism Silver Prism Rookie Auto PSA 10, sold on the 9th for $564.
That seems high, Jason, for a running back card.
That seems like, hey, that's actually a good buy to me. Like, to me, that sounds like a good buy. But this is the one that I think is going to blow your mind. You ready? His 2018 Panini National Treasures Rookie NFL Tag Patched Auto 1 of 1, graded a BGS 9.5 Auto 10, sold on August 19th, 2024 for $1,225.
Okay, now we're talking. That's a sick card to have. That seems low.
That card in a Gem Mint BGS grade did a little over $1,000, and it's a 1 of 1. Whoever bought that card on August 19th has to be sitting here right now going, this might have been the best. This might have been the best thing I've ever done. So, what's your take on it? Because I couldn't wait to tell you that 101 price, because I knew that was gonna make you start to think.
That's making me think for sure. I might get heat. I can't say that I would. I would not have sold it. Like the end of first week. Buying it and having it, I agree with you now that it's a good hold because I do feel like that market is going to go up. I feel like you said,
if they go like 4-0 to start the season, that market's gonna increase.
Yeah, which they very well could. Yeah, if you did sell it, if you sold it first week, I'm almost certain that you already made money. The reason that holding is such a tough topic after only 1 week is that you still have 16 more weeks that have a lot of risk involved in them. So, do I think the Eagles are going to make the playoffs? Yes. Do I think that Saquon's going to have a great year? God forbid, no injuries or anything like that? Yes. Both of those things, in my opinion, equal card market goes up. So, hell of a card, incredible card, 1/1 auto for just like a little over $1,000.
101 auto for what people pay for like a BGS 8.5 of like Burrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Justin Herbert,
It's like a silver prism.
1/1 gem mint. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
just non-auto silver
you're
PSA
telling
10.
me his silver rookie prism auto is only almost like half of what his 1/1 does? Like, come on.
Right. Yeah.
Come on. Like,
what
are we doing here?
Hell of a buy.
Yeah,
really great buy.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Like, when I saw that, I had to like double take. I'm like, are we sure this is a 1/1? Like, this is a correct 1/1? Now, I don't know. I didn't look if the patch was like game worn or anything, which maybe could add to why it went so low. But whoever probably sold it on August 19th, I'm assuming sold it knowing that Saquon's going on the Eagles. I think I'm going to try to salvage some of the money that I paid for this. But then whoever walked away with that price, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good pick, I guess.
So that's why I personally, I look at Saquon's market and I see it trending upward and I like the way that it's going. Like I think now that all those collectors out there that have been heavily buying Saquon probably back in 2018, 2019, 2020, were heavily buying Saquon, they're probably now all benefiting or could potentially benefit from this market. So I would be like, you know what? Have some patience. Take the time. This is my own current opinion. It's my own opinion. Just have some patience. Sit back and let the Eagles be the Eagles.
Okay.
So.
All right. I guess to defend my sell decision, I hope that you're right. I hope that like he continues to do well and the Eagles
either
do
or
well.
I don't think is a bad.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was going to get to. Like, I guess it's cool to think that it also depends on the card. Like if I had a silver prism rookie or just some base rookie prism in a PSA 10, I'd sell that. But when you got super high on caliber cards like that, and then the guy comes out and has an amazing first game, the business minded jelly cards in me wants to sell it right away because I am trying my best to eliminate all risk when it comes to cards, which is impossible. But the collector in me is like, hell yeah, this was a great pickup. I'm gonna hold on to it, and I think he's gonna have a great year. And maybe I'll sell it come playoff time. But yeah, good pick, Jason. Good example of both. You could sell or hold depending on the card and the player.
Yeah.
But okay, do I have to give my hold now?
Yeah, we can end on your hold. So
I'll try to be quick. My hold again. I didn't really pick any quarterbacks, so I'm kind of regretting that. I probably should have picked some quarterback cards because that's what everybody loves to like sell, trade, buy in the hobby. But I picked a wide receiver that I think maybe you'll appreciate. And my hold is Zay Flowers.
Nice.
Yeah. I chose Zay Flowers because Ravens lost their game, unfortunately, I think.
Yeah.
And
come on.
Yeah, I don't want to get roasted.
Yeah.
So I think that Zay Flowers is going to have an awesome second year. I watched part of that game. I didn't finish it, but I know that from what I did see, Lamar was looking Zay's way like almost every play. So I think he's going to end up having some really high volume.
Yeah.
It's going to have some high stats, touchdowns, all that. Ravens are going to, in my opinion, they're going to make a push for the playoffs. They should make the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They should win their division.
Yep. If I'm holding anybody, it's players like that. Like I said, if you're buying anybody or you're holding anybody, it's players that you think are great at their sport, who may or may not have, who may have had a rough first week, or their team had a rough first week. You want to buy those cards now, because as the season goes on, there's 16 more weeks of NFL football going on, including plus the bye. Those teams are going to do well. Those player markets are going to go up with that team. And that's why I chose players like Zay. I chose players like Jamar, like players who I think are going to make the playoffs. And especially if I think that their team is going to go past the first round of the playoffs, that's usually who I try to buy up and who I try to hold. So Zay Flowers is my pick. Just to go like into a really quick cards market. Recently, his 2023 Neon Green Pulsar Prism in a PSA 10 rookie sold on September 11th, just yesterday, for $50. So am I selling that card now? Probably not. I think it has more potential. I think that card could grow higher. It could push at least double that. So yeah, Zay Flowers is my pick. His red, white, and blue Prism in a PSA 10 just sold for $34.99. So not worth it to me. You're just making a little bit more, like maybe $5 after grading and all that. His silver Prism sold for, best offer was accepted at $69.99. So I'm assuming that card sold for like $60. I'd rather hold his cards for now and wait for the Ravens to go on a little winning streak and for Zay to pick up some great stats.
He had on September 1st, he had a 2023 Spectra, our rookie patch auto, neon splatter, numbered out of 8. It was a BGS 9. Auto got a 10, and it sold for $246.94. That's it.
Yeah.
Numbered out of 8.
Yeah. What a weird number.
And it's an RPA. So it's, I mean, I would have bought that. Like if I saw that at the National,
yes,
like I would have picked that card up and been like, yeah, I think this is a good buy.
Exactly.
Like Ravens are a Super Bowl caliber team. This could go up, especially if Zay has 1,400 yard receiving year or something like that,
which is very possible.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah. That's a good pick. I like that one.
Thank you. Finally.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can end there. I think we talked about a lot of great players. This is something that, we like to push for the most, is, to talk about players, talk about what's currently going on in these sports. That is always something that we've been trying to, push for a lot, is we want to not only talk about the sports, but we want to talk about the players, give you, current game stats, current card markets, especially because if you're out there and you have Zay Flower cards, you have Saquon cards, Baker cards, Jamar Chase cards, hopefully our podcast can bring you some information based on these markets that you might maybe not think about. Like you might have Saquon cards just sitting in a box somewhere, you're not paying attention to it because hey, Saquon's market's way down, or Baker was way down. But wait, hold on. Oh, JELI cards said that Baker cards are up. Let me go look at it. And next thing you know, you're welcome. No.
Yeah. You see what the JELI card said.
But yeah, it was good. So you can take it away, man.
Okay. Yeah, everything Jason said, completely agree. The whole purpose that this podcast was started was because we at JELI just love talking sports, and the beauty about sports usually is that their card markets kind of reflect their performance, and we love collecting. So that's why JELI Cards was started and the podcast was started, so we kind of tie them all in together. Like I said, you can't, none of the things that we say are like gospel or fact. It's all just research that we do, opinions that we have. Like Jason pointed out beautifully, I'm a Daniel Jones buyer. and his market, I'm sure, is very, very bad. I refuse to look
almost
at it.
Non-existent.
Yeah, yep. I'm not looking up Daniel Jones cards because I am trying not to overreact to the first week of the season. So, anyway, shout out to the Cards Professor. Thank you so much for reaching out. That is 1,000% what we wanted to get out of this podcast, is just interactions with other hobbyists in the hobby world. So thank you for that. We talked about dual autos. We talked about that topic thanks to him. If you have like a dual auto collection, please, by all means, message it to us. We just love looking at cards. We'd love to see it. We'd love your opinion on the things that we said. Are you strictly buying dual autos of both players' markets being incredible? Or are you just PCing somebody and you have a Mitchell Trubisky collection and you got a dual Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Watson auto in your collection? Like,
yeah.
I want to know what cards people collect. And if there are multiple people out there who collect dual autos or dual patch cards, please reach out. You can reach out to us on Instagram, X, aka Twitter, YouTube, at JELI Cards, JELICARDS. And yeah, we love interacting with people in the hobby. That's what this is. That's what we continue to do the podcast for. You can catch us on YouTube now. And like Jason said, I would really love it if you enjoyed this podcast episode. Please follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a rating. My goal is to get us to 50 ratings by the end of the year. Don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah. Please. I recently did a Whatnot show as well. So if you find us on Whatnot, once in a while we go on there and we just give out crazy deals. So follow us on Whatnot too.
Hopefully we'll start doing more.
Yeah,
we've been talking strat in the
we've
talking strat in the chat.
Strat in the chat. Strat in the freaking ruthless JELI Cards group chat where people just cutthroat in there, man.
Yeah, including you.
You can't even make jokes in the chat without them becoming misinterpreted. And
some people just have, nice, calm, relaxing mornings and then just look at the text and go, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah, time to rage. But yeah. And anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jason. Hope we have a amazing weekend and an amazing week ahead. Enjoy watching some NFL football tonight. Enjoy watching some football this weekend. Bear down. And
go Huskies.
Yeah, as always, keep spreading the love of this hobby from your friends at JELI Cards.
Good job, John.